Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lounging with Leash. It's another beanie day, and there's no makeup happening, so that's fine. I made it home from Bend, Oregon, and I'm back in my new office. I have retrofitted, gutted, and sliced and diced the guest room that was once my cousin's room and now is back to my room, and it's being built into a dance studio, which I'm so excited about. I'm going to put 2 giant mirrors along the one wall, and I have my weights and I have my workout equipment, and by that I mean mats, and I'm going to get a ballet bar to go right here, and then I'm at my desk with all my work stuff, like my proper job stuff. So really excited about that. I'm also slightly angry this morning. Whatever, it's fine. I've been listening to a bunch of Heather McMahon's podcasts, like I mentioned on my last video, because she's just the GOAT. She's really the GOAT of podcasts for me right now, and just people in general. So thank you again, Heather, for giving me life. I will add on, before we get to the topic for today, I'll add on that I didn't mention this, I don't think, in the last video, or podcast, that she has a hotline that people call in and give their absolutely nots. I do think I mentioned that. But I will say that the number is up on the podcast description or online. You can find it wherever. And it's really fun, I'm not going to lie, to call in and bitch and give your absolutely nots, because what better way to get out your frustrations? And she actually encourages it. And she's like, yeah, people are using this as therapy. So, whatever you got to do. So I've called in twice already. And you know what? I do feel better. So give that a whirl before you use Talkspace or get a therapist, or maybe do all of them. Write a letter to your cat. I don't know what you want to do, but just do what you got to do to feel better. So today's topic is actually probably something that maybe I should have done a long time ago, but we're getting around to it now, and that's fine because, I'm in a mood. So today is Jersey Shore, and you probably know that by the description of the episode. And yes, I keep petting myself. And Roxy, oh my God, that's part of the reason I'm freaking out and so beside myself is because Roxy here, we spent 2 hours at the vet ER on Saturday because she won't calm down. She's freaking out. I think there's just been too much change, too much travel, roommates moving in and out, and she's blind and old and probably deaf, and it's just been a lot. And so she's on a cocktail of medication, and it's kind of helping, not 100%, but so I'm trying to give her as much love and affection at the same time, but also not lose my fucking mind. So that's proving to be a task. But anyways, so Jersey Shore is really important. It seems like a ridiculous thing to be talking about at the moment, but I have to say it has been getting me through some hard times this quarantine. And what I mean by that is just the wonderful energy that is Snooki, for the most part, has been really awesome. And so if you ever need a buddy to feel like you want to go out and just blow off some steam, have a good time, she is the perfect person to do that with, even if it's just in your own living room. You know what I mean? She will get the party going. She will make you giggle. She's loving her crocodile stuffed animal. She's buying, little old lady carts for her. She's pregnant, so she got a rascal hover round, and she's going around on the boardwalk on a rascal hover round. She's buying giant, stupid crap, and she's just what I needed in this quarantine. And the other things that it will do for you is just really make you feel a little bit better about your own life. And I think they would agree with this when, Sammy and Ronnie, which first season, I think they focused really on their relationship. And I think everyone got so tired of it. It was after that, they barely existed on the show. There's 6 seasons and Sammy's barely on it because I think people got so sick of hearing them argue and fight, and they realized everyone's going to stop watching if all you focus on is Sammy and Ron. And yes, I have researched, and they are not together anymore. Spoiler alert. But every single season, it's like, we're together, we're not, we're together, we're not. It's like, kill me now. But entertainment, no less. The other interesting thing is Vinny, he's probably my favorite. It's really hard though, because Polly is really great too. But Vinny is like the hometown Italian stallion, but like mama's boy. He's the youngest guy. He's so cute. And it's so weird. It's like he's still bringing home girls and like doing his thing, but somehow he doesn't seem gross. I don't know. Like, I don't know how he manages to not seem disgusting after all of that and like still thoughtful and sweet. It's very odd. I don't know how he does it. Somehow he's like managing to freaking win over the hearts of America doing the same slutty things as all the other guys on that show, but maybe just because he's like a good person. And him, I was always rooting for him and Snooki to get together as probably like the rest of America. And it just never happened. Even up to the point where I'm on season 6 now. Yes, I've been watching them all. And no, I haven't seen any of the new family reunion ones. I need to figure out how to watch those. But she's pregnant in season 6 with Gianni's baby. And Vinny's still kind of like, well, if he doesn't step up to the plate, like, I'm here. And I'm like, that's the kind of content I need in my life is Vinny, like, still kind of playing the long game. Even though he totally missed his chance, which, I mean, he did it to himself. He didn't want to hook up with her because he didn't want to hurt her feelings and all this stuff. But I think over time he realized he did like her and then was like kicking himself because he didn't think she would probably settle down soon. And so now Vinny's just out there doing his thing. I think he's very single still. He has like 3 other, 10 over, I don't even know how many other spin-off shows with Polly, which I haven't seen, which maybe I should figure out. But it's weird. It's like I like to watch this like snapshot in time where it was like I was in college and I was young and dumb and they were young and dumb with me, and now I'm old and dumb and they're still young and dumb. It makes me feel like I'm still able to have excuses for kind of shit that I pull on a daily basis, but it's fine. Some of them were in their 30s when they filmed that. Whatever, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, and then, I mean, Polly, okay, so he's also great too, but, okay, so I've been reading this book called Attached, and it's about, like, attachment theory, and if you're not familiar, there's been a number of researchers and psychologists and psychoanalysts and whoever they all are that have done studies about people's different types of attachment theory based on their childhood experiences and then even later on experiences on how that they've come to relate to the world and the significant people in their world, either parents or siblings or teachers or what have you. And they categorize people into 3 main buckets. And I haven't finished the book, so I can't necessarily give you all the details. But the 3 categories are anxious, secure, and avoidant. And the idea is that each person fits into one of those categories, mostly. And there's a small percent, like 5% of the world, that fit into both anxious and avoidant. But for the most part, everyone's mainly one. And so with this in mind, as I do, I like to analyze these shows that I watch that are reality-based, because then I can like put this veil of psychoanalysts over them to figure out like who they are and what they're feeling and who they are, like what traumas they've been through. And yes, I'm twisted. So for this show, now that I've read this book or almost read this book, I see people through this lens, and you're either secure, avoidant, or anxious, right? So I've come to realize that I think Polly and Vinny are avoidants. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just how they go about interacting in the world. However, the problem is when you're an avoidant, you very much so want love and affection and intimacy, but once you get close to that, it's scary, so you push it away. And the reasons for that are many, but in summary, it's that as a child, your ability to have a secure attachment to the person who's supposed to care for you was always at stake. Either they were unavailable, or they were there and then they left, or maybe like emotionally unstable, or potentially alcoholic or drug addict or something, to where you realized as a child it would be better for you to actually go on your own, because the people that you depend on, quite frankly, aren't there. And sometimes it actually ends up being more hurtful if you do depend on them, because then you get let down. And so this group of people end up like going on their own path and really valuing independence and being on their own and not depending on others, even though, instinctually as humans, we are born to like be a family, in the sense of like relying on the people that you're with, like a pack animal, if you will. So they have to override that instinct because they realize that was actually not healthy for them. And so as they go on through their life, this pattern continues, and they continually are like pushing people away, even though that's what they really like. So sorry for all the jibber jabber psychology stuff, but it's really interesting to me. And I think what's happened with them is that, maybe growing up, they realized it wasn't safe to become emotionally attached to whoever. Maybe it's not their parents, maybe it was a teacher or a sibling. I don't know their lives, but they realized like that's not safe. So I'm going to push people away and be on my own, because you can see like these really intimate moments between Vinny and Snooki, and you can tell he really cares about her. He knows he really cares about her. He said that, but then kind of like gets close, and then he's like, never mind, I have to push you away because that was too scary, because that's what his history has told him. And Polly's just, I think he is able to do it with Vinny as in sense of like being best friends. But if you watch, they still only really just do jokes and make jokes. And like, it's not necessarily a deep relationship, at least what they show on screen. So maybe they talk more seriously about stuff. But I think it's the same thing. Like, they both kind of understand that this relationship is what it is. But we're not going to take it too intimate or too deep. And it really was showcased in the episode where Vinny was having anxiety and missing home and all this stuff, so he moved home. And Polly was like really struggling with like, he didn't want his best friend to leave and all this stuff, but he was like, he didn't really know what to say. He was just kind of sitting there like, well, like, I don't want you to leave, but like, you could tell it was really difficult for him to like voice how much he really cared about him and like how much he wanted him to be there. It's like cracking jokes, which is fine. I love a well-timed joke, but I just think that there's an element of that in both of them, and that's kind of why they thrive with each other. And they're still both very single, although I think it would be very easy for them to find some great girls, but that's just me. But also, Vinny, holler at your girl. I mean, I know you're in California. It's kind of far, but like, we could drive, meet halfway. I don't know. I think I could help him break his avoidant type, because that's what they say in the book, is that eventually, if some sort of trauma, or you get to the point where you are kind of like tired of your own bullshit, so to speak, avoidance can transfer over to secures. And maybe I'll do a whole podcast on this book because it's really interesting, but I want to finish it first, because the other two categories, I like how it doesn't necessarily say that any category or any way of viewing the world is necessarily wrong. It's just to help you understand who you are and who your partner is, but then ways to deal with each other and like help support each other and like work through things based on who you are. And then if you are on the anxious side or the avoidant side, things you can do to like help become more secure. But it doesn't even really necessarily say that you need to do that. It just says it like if you would like to move towards these things, whatever. So I appreciate that. It's not like you must and you're an idiot if you don't, and all. So at least not yet. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think too. The other thing which is really kind of embarrassing, but I'm gonna admit, is their whole gym tan laundry thing, the GTL, is actually like oddly inspiring because I don't know if you guys have felt this way, but during quarantine, I've gone through phases where I've been, I wouldn't say super productive, but like relatively productive, and then gone through phases where I'm like, waking up is hard to do, which is part of the reason I started this podcast, was like, I need something. And so watching them do like, oh, we got a GTL today. It's like they make it an event. They kind of make it fun, like gym tan laundry. And that's like the way that like they get amped and ready for the day and ready to go out. And I'm like, shoot, yes, I want a GTL. So like part of me is like, am I learning and being inspired by Jersey Shore? It makes no freaking sense, but also kind of a little bit, where it's like, you know how you do feel better after you get your laundry all done and put away and you work out and you're like, oh, like I'm thriving right now. So yeah, maybe give it a whirl. It's on Hulu, so give it a whirl. See if it inspires you. It'll probably, so here's the thing. All the fights and stuff, I'm not really into that. I'm more into the makeouts and the hookups, which is, that's just who I am. But there's also fights. So if you're the type of person that's like, yes, I love seeing a bar fight, there's plenty of that there for you too. I'm not super like, yeah, people getting hurt, whoop-de-doo. Like, I'm not really excited about that. But if you are having a down day and you feel stupid about something you did, like, watching them get in a bar fight over something stupid does make you feel a little bit better. I'm not going to lie. So I think those are all my hot tips. The other thing is just Sunday dinner. They have a tradition in the Jersey Shore house. Sunday, they GTL, they make a big fat meal, and they close the week in a nice way. And like, I've been doing that for kind of like a year or two now, off and on. But I do feel like ending your Sunday, especially now that it's fall, it's kind of cold outside, making a nice big meal, kind of winding down, getting ready for the week, and having leftovers for the week. It's like, it's pretty nice, it's pretty jammy. I would definitely suggest it. And that means that like you kind of organize your day around being home, so you're not like running around like an animal on Sunday night and feeling all scattered. So you wake up like ding on Monday morning, hopefully. So yeah, that's my life hack, Jersey Shore. And Heather McMahon, of course. Definitely listen to her podcast. Absolutely not. And don't tell you I didn't warn you for giggles. You might not want to listen at work. Do people go to work anymore? I don't know why I said that. Wherever you are listening, just make sure that you can laugh out loud, because you will, and it's amazing. And yeah, I want to be your best friend. So, but I'm sure everyone says that, but that's okay. I'm going to say it anyways. Put out into the world, make it happen. I make it happen. I'm joining Pi Kappa Pasta. I'm going to go see her live shows whenever she can do it. I don't know. I'm a fan. Sorry, not sorry. Call the hotline. You'll feel better. Alrighty. That's it. That's it for Lounging with Leash. We'll do this again sometime. Maybe I'll comb my hair. Alrighty. Love you. Bye.